Welcome back to the Tomahawk. We've got one game review for you this week because they changed the schedule. Carolina need to make up some games. So the Hawks only played Carolina once. They lost 5-3. I'm your host, Mike. This is Matt, and we're going to get right into it. So Hawks lost 5-3, and it really wasn't a bad. I mean, was it? Would you call it a bad game, man? I mean, they had a bad game, but in all, they still put some points up, and they played a really good team tough.
Yeah, I think it was just a bad start. I think they were playing behind early, and they had to pretty much play from behind the whole game, and they ended up rallying and fell short at the end. But they got an empty net goal. It could have gone either way. Kaner was great.
That spinorama goal, man. Kaner had a spinorama goal. That was in the first period. They were down 2-0. He had a spinorama goal that made it 2-1, and then they scored another goal, and then they scored another goal, made it 2-2 with like 15 seconds left in the first period. And we had just talked about that last week about that. And I'm like, okay, they go into the locker room. It's 2-2. It might as well be 0-0. Yeah. And it was a good game. Second period came around, no goals scored, 0-0, and then the third period came around, and then Carolina scored a goal. Hawks couldn't battle back, and then they were down 4-2. They pulled the goalie with like 3.5 minutes left. They scored a quick goal, and then Carolina got an empty netter. So
no. Kaner got a goal after the goalie was pulled. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. After the goalie was pulled, they were on a power play 6-4. They scored, made it a 1-goal game, and then Carolina scored and made it 5-3.
Yeah.
So, other than that, man, I think that the number one problem that they had that night was they were taking way too many penalties.
Yeah, I agree. That team they're a good team. I mean, they're probably going to make the playoffs, and that's a team we got to get some wins against to show this division that we're a serious threat.
Right, I agree. And we were that was another thing we were talking about was the special teams and how well they've been playing, and the penalty kill just didn't come through in that last game in shutting them down. Puck movement was pretty good on both sides. And both sides played pretty tough and pretty hard. Noticeably was Jordan Stahl. He made his presence known out there.
Yeah, I mean, that guy really turned his game around. I think they were expecting big things out of him when they traded for him a couple of years ago with Pittsburgh. And I mean, he really hasn't been that good of a player. But this year he started hot, and he's keeping it rolling. He's got the C on now, I see. And
yeah.
He's kind of taken some leadership and carrying his team.
He when they originally traded for him, he was a third liner on Pittsburgh behind Malkin and Crosby, obviously. Who would be cracking the top two lines with those two guys, unless your name was Jonathan Taves at the time. But he played more of a defensive style game, and he really wasn't. It didn't seem like he was out there looking to score goals. Went to Carolina. His brother was playing there, Eric, and I think he took on a similar role there. It seems more of a defensive specialist than looking for more offensive output. And I wonder if that maybe hindered him for a few years.
Yeah, I think in Pittsburgh he was a really good shutdown kind of player, kind of like a Boland.
Yeah.
And I think he wanted that bigger role with, and I'm sure his brother had something to do with him jumping over there, to play with his brother on a line together, but it really didn't really work out. And then Eric ended up leaving, and he go to Minnesota. I know he's in Buffalo now, but this year I don't know what's going on with him, but whatever he did in the off season or whatever he's changed his game, he's been good.
Really quickly, Eric, it seemed the last 2 years he was there, his output wasn't really there, so they let him go, and he played really well in Minnesota.
Yes, I agree.
He was a threat to be reckoned with when he played the Hawks.
Yeah, I agree. He was really good with Minnesota. I'm surprised. I think Minnesota was going a different direction they were they let Mikko Koivu go, and I think obviously they're trying to get younger. I'm not really sure. I can't tell you how well he's doing this year. I haven't really heard his name that much. Eric Stahl, that is, in
Right.
Buffalo. I know Buffalo's been, struggling for years, but I got nothing on him, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about an organization that is just in the mud in perpetuity. It's like they just can't get out of it.
I don't know what's up with them. The last time they've been good, I think it was when Danny Briere and Chris Drury were on the same. They were both captains. You remember that?
Yeah.
They had Ryan Miller in net. Marty Biron was the backup, and they had Campbell, Max Afinoganov. You remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's been a long time, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's got to be at least 15 years, 16
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, but they were exciting to watch. I thought they could have won multiple cups, and they just fell short, and then they blew up the team. And ever
Yeah, they
since they
did.
blew the team up, they've been. I think Ryan Miller might have been like the last piece of that team.
Yeah.
I think he ended up going to the Blues that year. We beat him.
Yeah.
And then he went. He's kind of been bouncing all over Vancouver, and I think he's with the Ducks now. And
Man,
but still, yeah.
Danny Briere, man, when he played for Buffalo and then went to Colorado. No, he didn't go to Colorado. He went to. Didn't Danny Briere? He went from Arizona to Buffalo, right?
I'm not sure where he started, but I know he was a co-captain with Chris Drury with Buffalo.
Right.
He didn't end up going back with Buffalo, and then he ended up going to Philly. And we actually remember we played him in the 2010 Stanley Cup final.
Right.
He had more points than Taves. And
yeah, he did.
They said he could have easily been the Conn Smythe.
Yeah.
And I'm glad he didn't get it.
Yeah.
You got to give it to the winners, in my opinion. But he had a great
unless the
year.
goalie absolutely stands on his head on the other team,
Yeah, I think Jaguar with the Ducks was the last one to be on the losing team and still be the MVP with the Ducks against New Jersey that one year.
Okay.
That was a Paul Kariya year where Paul Kariya got nailed by Scott Stevens. Yeah.
Man.
That's a long time ago, man. We're getting old.
Just thinking about that, man, I can't believe it. But anyways, yeah, Buffalo, they've been in rebuilding mode for in perpetuity. Maybe they're waiting for Alexander McGillney's kids to grow up so they can draft him and bring him back.
Jeez, they're rough, and I mean I was happy for them that they got Taylor Hall this summer or whatever this offseason, and it's just not going to work out. And Taylor Hall was very, very smart to sign a 1-year deal.
Yeah, get paid and then get out.
He's going to get paid, and watch next year. He's going to go to a contending team, or maybe he'll end up going back to Edmonton if they can afford it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Play with
Imagine
those two freaking guys up there.
That would be too surreal for him, man, to go back. He's supposed to be the piece that they're building around. He leaves. They put it together as soon as he leaves.
He won the MVP with New Jersey.
Yeah, he went on a scoring tear that year.
Yeah, I mean he was great. I was surprised. I mean Phoenix would actually even, I know they traded for him, but come on, he's not gonna. They just gave up assets and stuff for he's not gonna resign.
Right.
Yeah, I mean I could see him maybe getting traded at the deadline as well if Buffalo's gonna blow it up again.
Right.
But we'll see.
Right. Okay. So yeah, Lincoln. Back to the Hawks. Lincoln, he played pretty good. I really didn't see any glaring weaknesses in his game on versus Carolina. Defense seemed to be playing well. What about Ian Mitchell, man? Flying into the zone, Camp catching him with a great pass, and he just buried it right in the net.
Yeah, that's great to see. Like I said, he reminds me of a young Brian Campbell, Duncan Keith, 2010, where he starts skating into the zone, being that fourth winger, if you want to say. And I noticed Bowden also does that, and it's really good to see your young guys doing that. They're getting confidence, and I mean, having a defenseman score obviously from Brett Burns and you like Drew Doughty, having your defense score like that, scoring big goals, it's a huge help.
It is. It is. Drew Doughty, just to mention him really quickly, you're talking about a guy who had tremendous upside on the offensive zone and the defensive zone. I mean, he could shut down absolutely anybody. I think his skating ability was great on top of his defensive positioning, like all of the time, man. Whenever the Hawks would play him, he would just shut down Kane, man. I mean, he could stick with him all game,
Yeah, he played a lot of minutes, and you know what? His hitting is very underrated as well. This guy can lower down the freaking hip checks like better than anyone I've seen. I don't know if he's still doing that now. We don't really get a chance to see him that much. Well, we're not going to see him at all this year unless we make the playoffs and God, something.
Who knows what happens?
So, yeah, but he still plays a lot of minutes. He's just him and Duncan Keith are like from the same planet. They could play a half hour and another night they'll do the same thing. They'll score a goal. They'll just play a solid game. There's not many guys that can do that anymore.
Right.
And his defense, like you said, he could play both sides of the ice. Erik Karlsson cannot do that.
No, he can't.
And I hate.
He never has been able to.
No, it's ridiculous. You could score 100 points and you'll be minus 25. You shouldn't be playing defense. Sorry, you shouldn't be playing defense.
You should be playing right wing or something.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways, I think that he stopped laying down those hip checks when he met Matthew Tkachuk.
Oh yeah, that's a great rivalry. I watch those YouTube videos sometimes, and it's just awesome. That guy is the biggest little agitator.
Man,
was Keith that way? I don't think. No, he was just an old school. He shut his mouth and he could run you over and score some big goals. But
Matthew Tkachuk, man, that dude's something else, man.
Yeah, man, yeah. Hey, I know Calgary's struggling right now, but I mean, he even came out and said he puts a lot of pressure on himself, and he's trying to carry this team, back to the winning ways. And
he's got a letter. He's got a letter, and he shows a lot of leadership with the way that he plays. I mean, he just goes out there and puts it all out there. Brady Tkachuk is the same way, man.
In Ottawa,
man. He's a tough kid.
Well, he got a tough dad.
Yeah, they are, man. They're both a chip off the old block.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see them develop.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyways, Ian Mitchell had a great goal. Bowden, he's been playing well. I hope that they're getting the message saying that, hey guys, it's your time to shine. Get out there and just play. Whatever it is that you do, figure out how to play with your teammates. Hopefully you guys can be friends and have a great time. Because
great future. Yeah.
Keith is not. He's not. Short. He's getting long in a tooth. And he's not going to be there. I mean, maybe 2 or 3 more seasons max. Yeah. Absolutely max. And these guys have to be developed by then, and it's going to be their team.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really exciting, man. It's really exciting to see because a lot of these drafts are draft picks that we've gotten that these guys that we've heard things about, they're playing and they're playing really well. And more importantly, they're meshing as a team. One thing I want to mention, it seems that David Kampf seems to have, I don't want to say a bigger role, but he seems to be taking a bigger role on the team. He seems to be pushing offensively more, and I think that his passing game is a little bit underrated. And maybe he can find a niche here somewhere, to add more to the team instead of just playing a defensive minded game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's going to get a shot. I think we just like you said, there's just competition within the team, and I think Colleton likes him where he's at, and it's working out, and I don't think he wants to really change that right now. But I'm sure he'll get a chance, and let's see if he runs with it. Like these 2 rookie defensemen we got. I mean, they're really they're ahead of schedule. The Hawks. I mean, usually a rebuild is going to be painful the first couple of years, and so far it hasn't been painful.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Knock on wood.
Yeah, geez.
But anyways, man, do you got anything else for tonight?
Yeah, I just was looking at the top 5 players in the league in points, and it says obviously McDavid and Draisaitl. They both play in the same line. You got Marner and Matthews, who both play on the same line, and then you got good old number 88, who you don't have a line mate, and he's still finding a way to be on the top 5 in points, which is insane.
I guess when you're dishing to everybody, he's like, I'm not he's an equal opportunity guy.
It's just like, can you imagine if Panarin was still with him? We would be above McDavid and Draisaitl, probably in the 50s by now.
Yeah, probably, man.
That's just crazy. Like, it just shows you that Kaner is just a beast, man. He's gonna go down as probably the greatest Blackhawk of all time.
Yeah,
he's almost at 1,000 games. I think he's at 992 or something.
Mm-hmm.
He's almost at 400 goals.
Yeah,
he's got over 1,000 points.
Yeah,
and he's not slowing down, and it's been exciting. At first, when they compared Kane and Taves, obviously I'm kind of like an old school guy. I like guys who would play two ways, and Kaner, at first.
Yeah.
He came up, he was all offense. His defensive game was like, geez, God, this guy.
There was nothing.
No. But he's changed so much, and he's a solid two-way guy now. He's a good leader. He's doing it all, man. It's exciting.
People were really hard on him when he was young and partying, And it's like, could you imagine being 22, being a millionaire and winning the Stanley Cup in Chicago? I mean, it has to be surreal. And he has played so much hockey in his youth, and I would say probably didn't have much of an opportunity to really be a kid, So you make it into Chicago, which is a great place to be a millionaire, and you're making this money and you win the Stanley Cup and you're young. Unbelievable, man.
And then you do it 2 more times.
Yeah.
and then you win a scoring title, the first American MVP of the league, and it just, you keep adding onto the list. And I mean, I feel for the guy because, and I mean, he doesn't complain about it. I'm sure he wants a solid guy, a center. I mean, how long have we been saying Kaner needs a center? We think the Taves and Kane combo, it never really worked out. I mean, I
think it did, man. I think that
it did,
oh yeah. No, I mean, I think they play great together, Taves and Kane.
It's just never happens. It never would stick. And
yeah, I know. They never kept them there because they needed to spread out the wealth a little bit.
Exactly.
But they do have good chemistry together, and they do play well together.
On the power play, obviously, it's good.
Yeah.
But it's like, come on, man, get the guy a solid set. Like, I think we thought we had one with Nick Schmaltz, I think.
Yeah.
And they traded him, which was a good trade, I thought. I mean,
yeah, it was.
Strome, and we got we didn't get Connor Murphy. I think we got Brandon Perlini, who wasn't bad of a player.
He scored a few big points for us.
Yeah.
He was fast.
Kaner needs a solid guy with him.
Yeah.
And he would be, higher on that list. And I think the guy playing would say DeBrincat. DeBrincat's name would be right under Kaner, I think,
Yeah.
But just imagine if you just had a guy, like Sakic had. I think Sakic had Forsberg at times, and Steve Yzerman had Brandon, he had Shanahan.
Yeah, Shanahan, man. And Shanahan was a freaking animal, man.
And Oates had Brett Hall. Modano had, what's his name? Yuri Lettinen.
Yeah.
It's like a dynamic duo, and Kaner's never had that, but he still finds a way to be top 5 and top 10, and it's crazy.
Modano was another player, man, that he could play with anybody.
I think right now he's the greatest American of all time.
Yeah,
he's got a Stanley Cup. I respected that he was with that organization for all that time, and I cannot believe they let him go to Detroit. I was like, come on, guys, this guy, like, I'm sure he took pay cuts to play in Dallas, and I hate when they do that. Like Joe Pavelski.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. You're really going to let him go for Erik Karlsson?
Yeah.
This guy is like, he is like your Jonathan Taves. how are you going to do that? Like that Doug Wilson, I did not understand that. But
Yeah,
like you
that's a
said,
bad move.
McDonald, I hope they do not do that to Kane. I hope they don't do that to Taves, even Keith.
Yeah.
I mean, just keep these guys dedicated their freaking lives and their bodies to,
Yeah.
their blood and sweat. And, it's these guys have given everything. Don't do that. Don't trade them to
Yeah.
a 1-year rental for just so they can pay for their son's, car or something. Like how it is at the end of their career. I'm just
Yeah.
doing this for my kid or something. Come on
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
That's what I hate that.
I think that the Hawks have an opportunity right now, man, if Taves can come back healthy and roll a DeBrincat, Taves, and Kane line.
Yeah, and Kirby Doc comes back.
Yeah.
I think Kirby Doc can learn so much from just following Taves.
Yeah.
Learn from Taves because they're both centers, both from Canada. They're both, I think Kirby Doc might have a little more offensive swag, I guess you could say. I
Yeah.
think he's got Taves had it early in his career, he was dangling,
Yeah.
looking good, but I think he's more of just a Bergeron type of guy, not too flashy,
Yeah.
gets points, gets the job done.
Works hard.
But I think Kirby Doc needs to learn the two-way aspect of being a center. I think Taves would be a great mentor for him, if anything, when he came back.
Pretty
If he comes
unfortunate.
back.
Yeah, pretty unfortunate that Doc, himself, that he's out. But yeah, man, I would love to see a Taves, DeBrincat, and Kane line. I think that would work out really well for Taves because he has two outlets to pass to. And and Kane has two outlets to pass to as well, because I want to see Taves shoot the puck. He started shooting the puck again last year, and he was scoring goals, a lot more goals than he has in the past few years.
Well, I honestly liked Taves playing with Kubalik.
Yes, I did too.
I like that, and then like you said, you got your two guys, your two studs, and then hey, you throw Dylan Strome with Kane and DeBrincat. You're going to make Dylan Strome a lot better.
Right.
It's gonna give him confidence. He's going to get better numbers, and then you got Kubalik. Hell, I'd even like to see Kubalik, Taves, and Kurashev playing together. I think that would be good because you got a skilled youngster. You got
who can move the puck,
just a shooter, and you got Taves, the solid two-way guy.
Yeah, and Kurashev can move the puck. Kubalik, I think that he could skate with the puck pretty well too, and he's got good wheels on him. But man, he could fire it. He could fire it. He could fire it from anywhere.
He just needs to shoot. This passing, this beautiful plays. If he has the puck in a shooting area, he has to have one thing on his mind: fire that freaking thing, because the shot is very underrated in the league.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. One last thing I wanted to bring up, man, was puck movement. Puck movement on the power play. I think that the puck movements are really well when they can get in the zone and they can set up. And when they set up and they can start moving the puck, I think the puck movements are really good.
Yeah, give it to Kaner and let him go cross ice. Let him go down low to, the guy in the goal line, get ready to feed it to DeBrincat or get it to the point. And you know what? They're not holding it too long. They're moving it, making the penalty killers move, which is the point of a power play. You don't want to just watch
them
Kane
stack
dangle.
up.
Yeah, don't let them set up, and that's why they've been so successful, I think.
Right. Well, that's all that I got, man. What about you?
The only thing, funny thing, the outdoor game that they played yesterday. I mean, it's a really cool site. It did remind me of Mystery Alaska. But who the hell decided to make it during the day? I don't care if New York has to stay up later to watch a game.
Yeah.
That's what we have to do when there's playoff hockey. Yeah. Suck it up. Stop kissing the asses of people in New York. They're not the center of the world. That's why
I agree.
The game prime time, and you give it to the people. The game was in Lake Tahoe, right, or wherever it was,
right,
in Nevada.
Yeah.
Start the game at 7 for them.
Yeah.
So
or when the sun goes down.
Like what time do they have to? it would be 9:00 in New York, right? If the game was at 7, boo-hoo, New York. Who cares? Stay up and watch the game if you're interested in it.
Well, they do regardless, so I don't know why that would even be an issue.
I don't know. I'm sure that's what the executives and all the NHL people wanted. They want viewership, and I get it, but there is no one at the game anyway. You're not making money that way.
Yeah.
So it's like, start the game at prime time because more people, I think, will watch it. Football's over. Nobody watches the NBA because it's a joke.
Baseball's not started.
I mean, I think it would have been awesome if it was at night. Put the lights on. You got the mountains and it's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was all about the scenery, but they're lucky someone didn't get hurt because that ice was so soft. Like guys were falling, and it was bad.
Man.
Yeah. But
Didn't they had ice issues? Okay.
Oh yeah. Well, in an ice arena, I know the temperature, I think it's between 70 and 68 maybe. So it could be done outside. I mean, they've had an outdoor game in LA, right?
Yeah.
And it's warm there. It's just the sun was beating down on the ice. And it's the sun, it gives off heat. So,
it does. It's really warm.
And so I think they should have waited till the sun started going down. Obviously, it's easier to say for us, but I think they were doing it for the scenery views. You got the mountains and you got a guy on a jet ski holding a Detroit Red Wing flag, which I thought was hilarious because Detroit people hate Colorado people. It's a great rivalry, and I'm still waiting for that 30 for 30 series of that rivalry. Man. I think it would be amazing because we were Hawks fans, like kind of just sitting back, like, oh, go ahead, go kill each other.
This is great. Yeah,
exactly.
It was, man. It was. I can't wait till my kid gets a little bit bigger. I'm gonna sit him down for both of those series. Those are back-to-back years.
Yeah, and it all started with one dirty hit.
Yeah.
The Claude Lemieux dirty hit snowballed into a freaking war zone with Patrick Waugh freaking out, going after Vernon and Osgood.
Yeah.
But, oh, man, it was some good hockey.
It was, man. It was.
I honestly think Waugh hated Detroit for his last game in Montreal. I don't know if have you
oh, yeah. Didn't he get lit up for like 8 goals or something like that?
He got lit up by the Red Wings. And I remember they weren't pulling him. And I was the goalie on that team. And I'm getting lit up. Everything's going in. And my coach left me in. Just to be an arrogant jag, I would be just as furious. I don't think I would have walked up to the owner of the team and said,
I'm not playing another game.
I'm freaking done. I don't think I would have done that, but he did it, and they traded him to Colorado, and the dude won 2 Stanley Cups. But I think he hated Detroit, and you could, it showed, man. It was, I think it would make a great 30 for 30 series, and have Gary Thorne narrate it because he was calling everything, and it was great. Yeah,
it was an unbelievable series.
For sure.
Well, cool, man. Well, that's all that we got for you guys tonight. The Hawks play Columbus on Tuesday, and Tuesday and Thursday?
Unless they change it on us again.
Unless they change it again. We got Columbus on Tuesday and Thursday. So buckle up. It's going to be another great series. I really like this format. I really like this format of these games. 2 games with the same and moving on to another team, then coming back and seeing them again, man. It's going to set up some rivalries,
I think they should keep it this way. The next year, if we're doing a full 82-game series or season, and say we're going out east, say we're going to Montreal, I think we should play Montreal twice.
Yeah.
Or I know they like to do a home game and an away game, but hey, do it. I mean, I think it would be great just to get it out of the way. And then maybe the next season have Montreal come to Chicago for 2 games.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it would save the league a lot of money and travel and just aggravation. And I think the players really like it. And I'm a big fan of it. I love it.
Yeah, I love it, man. Yeah. I love it. So, all right, guys, do us a favor. Give us a comment. Give us a like. And hit subscribe. This is Mike and Matt. We're out.